Don't make me call Portia.
Oh, Jesus.
Let's face it, the Real Housewives of Atlanta has lost the plot. For the last few seasons, we've had Marlo and Sonya forced down our throat, Drew kissing LaToya, Bolo, and most importantly, the lack of star power. But with this premiere episode, I think Atlanta has found their formula. Before we get into all that, make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Would love to talk to y'all about the episode. Tell me what you thought worked, what didn't work, who you like, who you don't like, what confessional looks that you like. Stick around for the end because I'm going to get into that. And yes, let's just go all out. All right. Let's get into it. So, as you know, Bravo put Atlanta on ice for about a year or two, and we've all been waiting patiently to make sure that they done got it right. And I will say that I am pleasantly surprised after that trailer that we watched together. I'm pleasantly surprised to see that they have gotten some together. Let's just go ahead and get into it. First things first, let's talk about the cast. Let's talk about our old faces first. Hey Portia, hey Kenya, hey Cynthia, hey Drew. Let's talk about Portia. Portia is going through a divorce. Is anybody surprised? No. Now, let me just start by saying this. I've never been the biggest Portia fan. I've always enjoyed her, but the thing that's always stopped me from being like a big full-time Portia fan is that like little naive blonde bit that she does far too well. And for the longest time, I was thinking that it was a bit. Now I'm starting to believe that Portia is not as bright as I thought she was because, lady, you done been around the block a few times. How in the hell you 40 years old and you didn't think to check this man's finances before you married him? Like, you stole the lady's husband, you bought this big ass house, and then you married this man in this big theatrical fashion, and then you decide to check his wallets? Then you decide to check his bank statement? Like, sister, we gotta work on our choices, okay? Moving on. Drew. Hey Drew. Uh another one who might not be too bright. Another one. What I will say though is I am happy that she is divorcing that man. I told y'all a long time ago that I thought that Ralph was a very weird tech nerd.
Planted cameras in the house without her knowledge, watching her without her knowledge. That is weird. That is creepy. That is violent. That is abusive. That is controlling. That is manipulative. Drew, run the fuck away before you end up lost. I don't want to see you lost, sis.
Who had far too much access to her brain. I'm happy that you have found enough sense to let that go. On the other hand, Drew, is there nobody else in Atlanta that you could have called to produce your music? This thing with you and Dennis is dumb. It's dumb. And it's giving very self-produced. I needed something to talk about. I needed something else to talk about besides me and Ralph. So I'm going to go and create all this drama between me and Portia, which I think that is a very stupid move because you would have fared much better by being Portia's friend than her enemy. However, now you're about to get a little taste of Portia for real because Portia invited you into her arms and really embraced you and really just took you in, and you done fucked that up. However, what goes around comes around. It just kind of confuses me because like you was on the show with Candy, the Candy Burris, the lady who wrote No Scrubs, Say My Name, Bugaboo, The Shape of What. Like, you couldn't use that connect? I don't know, sister. I don't know. It's just like, is this thing on? Is this... Anyway, and we also have Cynthia and Kenya back. Cynthia doing what she does best, looking gorgeous in confessionals and in person, and asking the right questions. And on the other hand, we have Kenya also up to her same shenanigans, getting on people's nerves. Now let's talk about a couple of these new faces. Kelly, the pint-sized problem. Baby, let me tell you something about you, Kelly. I like a woman who speaks her mind, who goes in with a mission and gets the job done. We have all been wondering who was going to be the one to ask Portia the questions that needed to be answered, and who better than somebody she don't even know. Yeah, let's just go ahead and kick this thing right off. Why you take that lady husband? I would like to know. We the people want to know. So while it may have been tacky, abrupt, and weird, I'm here for it. Thanks, Kels. But what I really like about Kelly is the scene that she had when they filmed her daughter's 17th birthday party, fabulous party where they having tea and crumpets and all this other bullshit or whatever. She was talking about her ex-husband and telling us about how he threatened her in court, and then she mentioned her daughter's name. I think her daughter's name is Chance. Don't quote me on that, but I think her daughter's name is Chance, and her daughter heard her name being mentioned, and she walked over like, "Hey, girl, it's me. What's tea? We're talking about me, huh?" And what Kelly did was pivot immediately to protect her daughter's innocence. I love that scene because that is such a real mommy thing to do. It was also a real mommy thing to do, to give a mommy lie. Like, oh, I was just saying that you are just the most perfect, sweet little angel that I've ever created. Yes, that's all I was saying. Really, she was like, girl, your daddy ain't shit. He ain't never gonna be shit. And I can't wait to divorce his ass and jump on the next one that I see. Period. Love that for her. So far, Kelly is my favorite this season. Again, we are only on the first episode. She's funny, she got great personal story, she's messy, and she came here on business. Mama is already advertising her little chicken shack. I say, I know that's right. Come in here and be about your bag, because you never know how much time you're going to have on this show. So check all the boxes, get everything done. Angela. The only thing that I can really say about Angela at this point is that she gives beautiful, rich auntie vibes. That's it. She hasn't really given us too much yet, but it's only the first episode and we have a whole batch of women to introduce. So understand why she probably was left for the second episode, which I saw the preview and it kind of looks like she's about to start heating things up. So can't wait to see how that goes. Britt. You know, I'm a little confused by Britt. First of all, Britt is beautiful. Beautiful. But she comes off a bit hesitant, or like she's scared. Like she sees the cameras and then she just kind of like, oh my God, the cameras are around or whatever. Like, for instance, that scene with Kenya and the whole scene with her and Kenya asking about her ring and yada, yada, yada. She was offended by what Kenya said. Now, me personally, I didn't see anything wrong with what Kenya said. I think the interaction was awkward, but to me, it was awkward because Britt had weird energy. I think that and again, and I feel like it's fair for these girls to come in knowing who Kenya is, knowing who Portia is, knowing who Cynthia is, and having formed an opinion about them already because we've seen them for the last decade of our lives on this television show. So I think she came in and when she saw Kenya, she shrank a little bit. Like you can see her shoulders are hunched over. She hiding behind her bangs and shit. Baby, you need to dust all that shit off, okay? Because if you were offended by what Kenya said, then you should have addressed it then. Not go and scurry off with you and your bang and consult your husband about it. Like, let's be in the moment, babe. You felt it then, you should have addressed it then. Like, not too much on my ring, baby, because where is yours? Let's talk about that. And also, while we're talking about that, Kelly, let me chin check you real quick. We cut to your confessional in the middle of that scene where she says Kenya shouldn't be asking about anybody's wedding ring because she doesn't have one. Neither do you. Y'all are both going through a divorce at this point. So I understand that you want to have your friends back, but you're going to have to, if you're going to throw shade, you have to make sure that you are not standing underneath the tree as well, babe. Like you just gotta make it make sense. So now we've discussed the women. Let's get into the drama. So Portia versus Kelly. Baby, the gloves, they're off. I don't even know if they were ever on at this point because Kelly just came in swinging on the girls. Shamia, Britt, and Kelly all go to dinner, and Shamia brings up the fact that Portia is going through a divorce, and immediately Kelly is like, well, the bitch shouldn't have stole that lady man. And I said, well, let the church say amen, because yes. But also, my problem isn't Kelly, because that's what the girls are supposed to do. They're supposed to ask questions. They're supposed to get it started. My problem is with Shamia, because Shamia, if I'm Portia and I see my best friend having a conversation about me in a negative light with a bunch of bitches, like, yes, Shamia was protecting Portia, but also the right move is to shut that conversation down and let them girls know that there will be no conversation had about my best friend behind her back. If you want to address her, you talk to her while she's here. How I would have handled that, I'd have been like, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, Kelly. I understand that you have questions for my best friend, but I also need you to understand that that is my best friend. We are trying to cultivate love, bonding, trust, real friendship. And you will not be talking about my best friend while she's not here. Point blank in the period. There's no more conversation left to be had. We can continue having drinks and being girls and eating or whatnot. But if you got a question about my best friend, you talk to her when she's here. That's that. Moving on. That's me, and that's how I would have handled the conversation. But everybody is not me, so you know. But also on the flip side of that, Portia has not always been the best friend to Shamia. Now, if you recall, seasons ago, Portia was sitting there whilst Phaedra accused Shamia of having a threesome with Candy and Todd. And Portia was also sitting in between Shamia and Phaedra when they were having a verbal spar and never once defended Shamia. So I feel like Shamia is well within her right to not defend Portia. However, if it's me, that shit happened in the past, and at this very point, like just in my spirit, in my soul, that's my friend, and you're not gonna talk about her while I'm here. I don't give a fuck what she did to me. We still friends at this point, so you're not gonna talk about her while I'm here. However, everybody ain't me, and I understand if that could be the reason why Shamia did not shut that conversation down. But also that just might be who Shamia is as a friend, because she prides herself on being everybody's best friend in Atlanta. So I don't like mixy ass bitches. Everybody who just want to be everybody's best friend, but because bitch, you can't be. You could be a couple people best friend, but some people are just friends, some people are just associates, and then you have your core group. You need to learn boundaries, babe. So Shamia then goes to the strip club with Portia. She tells Portia, like, hey, old girl has something to say about you, so you might want to address that. And then she also revealed that Britt brought up the fact that Drew is dating Dennis. Now, I don't for 1 second believe that Drew and Dennis are dating. Hold on. Before we even get there, I want to know what kind of Polish sausage Dennis is slanging to have bagged all of these beautiful women. You got Portia pregnant. You went on dates with Britt, and now it's alleged that you are dating Drew. Dennis, I'm just saying. Look, Hot Dog King. Hey, go off, Dennis, bitch. But either way, so she lets Portia know that Drew and Dennis are supposedly dating. Portia's gagged. She's not, but she's gagged. And I don't, let me just say this. I believe all of this shit is made up. All of this shit is made up. Portia does not give a fuck about Drew and Dennis. She does not have she does not actually think Dennis is fucking Drew. If you see the way that Portia and Dennis interact with each other, they do not give me people who disrespect each other on that level, because they have built such a friendship at this point that Dennis knows not to fuck Drew. Now, you can't never put nothing past no nigga now. You can't never put nothing past no nigga. In the words of Kaya, don't trust no nigga, don't trust no Christian, don't trust no sissy pong. But I just don't for one second believe that shit. And even when you see the preview for next week's scene with Dennis and Portia, all these names, child. With Dennis and Portia, she's not even committed to the bit. She's not committed to the bit because she does not for one second believe that Dennis is banging Drew. Like, please. But that is the drama that was all packed up in that first episode. It's cute, it's light, it's fun, nothing too serious just yet. I will say though that I really did enjoy the fact that Britt did come back around to Kenya and address her like, hey, you didn't give me a hug. It still kind of felt like she was a little scared to do so. But, you know, whatever. I understand Kenya is a very polarizing figure and her energy could be a lot to handle. But Kenya's like, well, I didn't really hug anybody, but you know, like, I'm sorry, like, let's go over here and chat. So she pulls the girls over, they have a conversation, and it looks like everything is fine and dandy. Like, it just does not feel like, I understand what production is trying to do, is trying to paint Kenya in this like villainous light, setting that whole story up, but Kenya did nothing wrong. Like, the conversation was awkward because there was awkward energy in the room. Kenya asks, like, girl, is that a second ring from your second husband? I don't know why that would be a shady question. She will have a second husband at some point, Lord willing, but whatever. Let's talk about the confessionals, because confessionals for me are the main event. I love a confessional. That's it. I hate this CGI ass confessional room that they're in. None of these houses look real. It looks fake as fuck. The chairs are literally floating on the floor. Like somebody said, Wingardium Leviosa. The shit looks weird, okay? However, Portia has my favorite confessional look thus far. That black bob, baby, cut to perfection. She looks good. My favorite dress, though, actually, it might be tied with Portia, like, for best overall look. Britt in that all gold number, stunning. I think the rest of the women look fine besides Shamia. Baby, them pockets are way too deep to look that cheap. That's all I got. Drew also looks great. I love that auburn hair on her, and like what the makeup artist did with the little dots on her eyes. I said, all right, come on, Drew, give us a little edge, give us a little fashion, okay? Overall, I think it is a solid premiere. I think it's solid. I don't think it's the best that they've ever done, but I also think that it is a step in the right direction, and it does feel like a breath of fresh air. It's nice to get it's nice to get to know a batch of new ladies, and I'm really excited to see how this whole season will play out. So, despite that lackluster trailer, I am excited to see the rest of the season. The one misstep that they had is editing down Kenya to a side character. I understand that Bravo is trying to teach her a lesson. They are trying to, say, hey, that's not okay. We can't be doing that. However, I also think that it is just as wrong for y'all to have this lady on this show air whatever is going to come out eventually, and then allow production, the women, and movie magic to shape and mold her story, and not giving her a chance to defend herself, to share her side of the story, even if she's just there to say, I'm dead ass wrong. I just don't think that it's fair to allow everybody to tell her story but her. She should have been allowed a confessional. Like, she filmed full time. Give the lady her fucking confessional. Other than that, I'm excited to see where this season goes. So I hope to see y'all back every week. I will be here. I will be queer. And yeah, I hope y'all niggas is there. Now, okay. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, do all the things. And I will see y'all next week. Toodles.